Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting together some of the Death Guard veterans from Kill Team. Now, I have actually already got a set of these, and I think they're absolutely amazing. I've probably kind of mentioned while I was doing the Orc Kill Team how much I love this kit, partly because you can build anything really that you need for an Imperial Guard army just from this one set, and that's not even hyperbole in the matter. That is literally how brilliant this kit is. You can build them as veterans. Obviously, you can build them with specialist equipment for Kill Team, but you can build a regular guardsman squad. You can build different types of veteran stroke specialist weapons squads. You can build a command squad. The only thing you don't have with this is heavy weapons squad. But I think there's enough pieces in this that if you could find yourself like a heavy weapon from somewhere, you could easily build these and use the different positions as a heavy weapons squad. So it is possible. Obviously it would be one of the set mortar style pieces, but still it would be brilliant for it. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this kit and I'm going to do one at a time, and I'm going to start with the sergeant. Now, I've decided to obviously paint things out on here to make life a lot easier for me, which I'm going to follow this purple one here. Don't know why I'm picking up my big chunky pencil to show you that. But there we go. So I'm going to follow this kind of deep purple colour because that's the one. So I'll be basically moving across the different kits to get all the different components. I don't think I need anything from the smaller accessory sprue for this one. But you know what? Let's get going on this. And while I'm at it, I've decided to try and kind of do a bit of ranking on the kit. Now, because I'm building individual models, I'll be ranking individual models within the kit rather than the kit itself. So, to get ourselves going, we need 26, 27, 28 and 25 as the main body parts. Now, you'll notice that there's some... just trying to make sure I'm clicking the right place there. The coat is all one kind of... the coat and the upper body is all one set piece. And then underneath that, you've got the legs set up. The legs, again, they have to go on the correct model. You can't just kind of mix and match, unfortunately. So you can't mix and match across the kit, or at least not without a significant ability to sculpt using modelling putty. However, I do find this to be a very easy kit to follow. Most of the major components for a single miniature are in a nice linear progression. So, obviously I'm calling that kind of one of my my positives about this. So it's definitely one of my positives about this is the way that it's easy to follow. Excuse me. Having a bit of a still having a bit of a throat issue. Now, obviously, need to start tidying this up. I've actually painted some of these already, but what I decided after looking at the painting, I like the scheme, but I don't like all of the effects that I've done on it. I've gone for quite a dirty effect on these. I've actually got a Death Corps army coming along. But of course, I need to get some of those beautiful Forge World tanks to really make it look proper, because there's so much beautiful special Forge World stuff. There is a slight aesthetic difference between the resin Death Corps and these. Now when I look at it, I definitely prefer the changes that Games Workshop's done to these compared to Forge World. One thing I do like is there's a certain amount of flexibility on the weapon options as well as we go through. In fact, this Sergeant is officially shown to be built 3 different ways. Right. So it's quite an easy put together as well, I've found. You know, there's no real complexity to it. You can just pop them together, you know, bit of glue. So, you know, I think first of all, ease of getting them off. That's definitely a positive. And then adding up on that, the ease at which these guys get put together, I tend to find there's no like ambiguity about how the parts go together for myself. It's quite straightforward. The parts pretty much fit where they feel they should fit. So if I were to say from a scoring point of view what's going on here, you know, you've got 2 positives there to begin with about this kit. Making sure that's breathing, because it needs to have a good solid tight bond, that. Just make sure that he stands quite happily when you're done. Then the head, again, you just get that gently on there. And then what it should do is the hose should attach to the side of the air cleanser, and as you can see, it's just such an easy fit together. Right, what I'm actually doing is I'm pausing for just a few seconds to make sure things are dried, which might mean every now and then there's sort of a sudden change of position of things. Right, next thing we need to pop on here is a backpack. So a lot of the backpacks are very universal, and it's really just more about personal preference as far as, you know, style and things is concerned. Now I think I picked out, let me have a look at it. I was going to do an 88 backpack on this one, which is this one here. This is why sometimes, particularly when I'm doing individual models instead of the whole kit, I like to paint out what I'm looking for. Just helps me keep the video a bit shorter. Now there is a mold line right along the center of this backpack. Now the problem is with this backpack is it's not like a Space Marine backpack where it's quite, you know, flat. It's got a lot of details that you could accidentally scrape off. you know, just purely by accident, not even by intent. So unfortunately, that is kind of going to have to be my kind of first thumb down on this one, is that I feel like when you've got a mold line, a longer component that's got details to it, you know, I know it can't always be helped, but still it creates an unfortunate appearance with the model. Okay, normally I'd leave those off until later and paint them separately, but fortunately How to Build video doesn't always allow for that. Okay, now going to move on to his weapon arm. So I've decided on this one to go with a power sword. So in order to do that, we need 70, which is the arm, and 71, which is the sword itself. What else have we got there? And let me just tidy this up now. This is going to be his left arm. See, this is the thing, but I think by the time you've got, like, say, 5 of these kits to get yourself a really strong unit, you've got, you know, you've got enough spare weapons then to really create, when you get like the other 5, say, which no doubt if you want to build an Imperial Guard army, Astra Militarum army out of these, you're probably going to need at least 10 kits. So just to be get your head into gear there, you're talking about how much money there. We're talking well into the I've left a bit of mould line on there, and I wonder it's not bonding properly. Try that again, yeah. There we go. So nice sword that. Not going to glue that on right now to the main body because I want to give that hand a bit of a chance to dry. So what I am going to do is I'm going to find 66, which is the gun arm, and then I'm going for the bolt pistol 68. Again, I feel that this is definitely another up for this kit, because not only can you build 2 different sergeants, one with like a heavy bolter, the other with close combat weapon and pistol. You've got the options of 2 close combat weapons, a power sword and a chain sword, and then on top of that you've got bolt pistol, las pistol, plasma pistol, as troop options. Now, another thought process that some people can go through here, and they'll be like, well, okay, if I could just put a plasma pistol on all of my troops, why wouldn't I? on all of my sergeants, and a power sword on all of my sergeants. Why wouldn't I? And the reality is, well, okay, first of all, on a points-based battle, it's good to have a few variations so that you can mix and match. It's what I used to do with my old Imperial army. Oh, no, don't want that yet. I want that one. Plus, plasma pistols can have a nasty habit of exploding on you. So, I mean, your sergeant could drop dead before he's even done any damage. Right, so now what we should be able to do is basically attach these arms. Now, again, he's got a shoulder guard, and this is one of the major differences between the new Death Guard veterans and the Forge World ones. The size of the arm guard is, well, there's more to it, and I prefer that than the small one. Again, let's see, let's get this on now. Just finding the right position for it. I think it tends to prefer to be in a slightly raised position, this arm. Yeah, there we go. Now, as you can see, it is such an easy put together. There's not even much complexity to it. So I think if I'm like really scoring these and giving them kind of positives and negatives, then I think this has kind of done its job. You know, we've got the sprue layout is easy to follow. It's really easy to build. There's no like, where does this go? I'm not sure. And the weapon options are really flexible. So there's a lot of positives just on this one model. Now, of course, you know, as I go through, we're going to have similar positives from the other ones, the other parts of the kit, but it is quite interesting and I really do love this. There's also a lot of additional extras that you can put onto this, but to be quite honest, I'm not going to do them now because, again, the fiddly bits to paint around. Anyway, so hope you like that little video on the Veteran Sergeant, my little introduction to the kit, and I'm going to carry on hopefully making the rest of these over the next day or so. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.